My friends, let me tell you a truth that many deny, many avoid, and many never dare to confront. Happiness is not a gift you stumble upon. It is not something you wait for. Happiness is something you decide on, something you create by force of will, by strength of mind, by clarity of purpose. You must push yourself to be happy, not once a year, not on birthdays or vacations, but every single day, especially when life tightens its grip and the storm clouds gather overhead. It is in the hardest of times that your power is revealed. The man who can smile when he is broken, who can breathe gratitude when everything is taken from him, that man is invincible. And I say this to you not as poetry, but as principle. You were not put on this earth to wait for joy. You were placed here to generate it, to become it. The key lies not in your circumstances, but in your state of mind. And that, my friend, is a matter of choice, of habit, and of faith. You see, life will never hand you perfect conditions. It was never designed to. Obstacles are life's method of forging strength. Pain is life's way of carving character. And happiness, true, lasting, radiant happiness, is your reward for pushing through, for believing when there's nothing to believe in, for deciding to smile when you could cry. I speak from experience, and I speak from the principles which have lifted thousands from despair to destiny. Every man who has ever achieved greatness has come to a vital turning point in his life, a moment when he realized that his joy, his peace, and his inner contentment were not dependent upon the outer world. He learned, through pain or persistence, that happiness is not delivered by chance or by circumstance. It is seized. It is commanded. It is a habit, deliberately formed by the will and maintained through discipline. You must first accept that happiness is not something you wait for. It is not a result of favorable conditions or perfect timing. It is not tucked inside a bank account, nor hidden in someone else's approval. Happiness is yours for the making the very moment you decide it shall be so, and let no man deceive you. This decision is the highest act of personal power. It is the assertion of mastery over your emotional state, and only the truly great ever learn to wield it. Look around you and observe. The majority drift through life with a pitiful notion that joy is a reaction to life going right. But who defines right? And how often does life give you only what you want, wrapped in golden ribbon, without challenge or adversity? The man who waits for the sun to shine before he feels grateful will live in eternal winter. But the man who learns to light his own inner fire, that man shall never freeze again. To push yourself to be happy each day is not weakness. It is strength of the highest order. It is self-command. It is a testament to your understanding of universal law, that what you hold in your mind with emotional intensity is drawn unto you. Therefore, to choose joy even in the face of hardship is not denial. It is alignment. It is sending out a signal to the infinite intelligence that you are ready for more, because you are capable of more. Now understand this. Happiness, like success, is born of practice. You must train yourself each morning the way a soldier sharpens his sword. Begin your day not by checking the world's problems, but by checking your own thoughts. What are you allowing to dominate your mind? What do you focus on? You must become the gatekeeper of your soul. Only thoughts of peace, strength, progress, and gratitude must be allowed in, for they are the architects of joy. Do not expect that it will be easy. But remember, nothing worthwhile ever is. Discipline is the price you pay for greatness, and happiness is no different. You must do what the masses will not: stand guard at the gates of your mind when the world is trying to bring you low. You must smile not because of what happens, but in defiance of it. That is your power. That is your victory. That is your proof to yourself that you are no longer a slave to circumstance. There will be mornings when your body is tired, your spirit worn, and your heart bruised. On such days, the undisciplined will fall into despair. But you, if you are to rise, must do the opposite. You must double your efforts. You must affirm aloud, "This is the day I command joy. This is the moment I take back control." Speak these words even if you do not believe them, for faith grows through repetition. Declare your intent, and your subconscious will obey. You must also feed your happiness. Read words that elevate. Listen to voices that remind you of your purpose. Surround yourself with people who refuse to live in darkness. Just as a fire needs kindling, your joy must be supported by your environment. Do not stay where you are constantly pulled down. The decision to be happy must be matched by the discipline to protect that happiness. And remember always, this is not about ignoring life's challenges. This is about rising above them. To be happy when things are easy is no triumph, but to smile when your world is shaking, that is victory. That is the mark of a master, and that is what you must become. So I say to you, decide now, not tomorrow, not when things are better. Decide today, in this hour, in this moment, that you will be happy, not as a luxury, not as a fantasy, but as a daily disciplined act of will. And do not wait for permission. Happiness is not given, it is forged, and the fire that forges it burns within you. The greatest secret known to man is not locked in a vault or hidden in ancient scrolls. It is a truth as old as the mountains and as certain as the sunrise. You become what you think about all day long. This is not theory. It is not philosophy alone. It is law, immutable, unforgiving, and exact. Your dominant thoughts are the blueprint of your destiny. They form the mold into which the substance of your life is poured. If you allow fear to consume your mind, fear will shape your world. If you indulge bitterness, then bitterness will color every relationship, every decision, and every moment. But if you choose thoughts of abundance, of purpose, of happiness and victory, then your life shall rise to meet that vibration with precision. Everything begins in thought. The chair you sit on, the home you live in, the path you walk, all were once the figment of a mind that dared to think it so. You are no different. The life you experience today is nothing more than the harvest of the seeds you have sown in your mind over weeks, months, and years. If your world is dark, look not to the sky or the ground, but within to your own thought patterns. You are always the first cause. A man becomes the thing he contemplates. Think long enough on misery, and you shall find misery in every corner. Think long enough on health, and your body begins to heal under the command of belief. The subconscious mind does not argue. It accepts. It obeys. It carries out the orders given to it through repetition, emotion, and intensity of thought. Whether those orders are positive or negative is your decision and your responsibility. Understand this. Your mind is the most powerful instrument you will ever possess. It is your workshop, your command center, your battlefield, and it must be trained, shaped, and guarded with the same dedication you would give to any precious treasure. For it is from the mind that all treasures are born or destroyed. When you wake in the morning, you must take control at once. Do not allow the world's noise to seize your thoughts before you do. Declare what kind of day you will have. Think gratitude, even if your life feels empty. Think strength, even if you feel weak. Think success, even if failure is knocking on every door. The thoughts you allow in those first moments are seeds, and they will grow. And here is the magic of it. Thoughts are not only causes, they are magnets. They attract to themselves circumstances in perfect harmony. Think poverty, and you will repel opportunity. Think joy, and you will notice reasons to smile that you had once overlooked. The world responds to your mental state with more accuracy than most will ever admit. This is not mysticism, it is mental science. The man who masters his thoughts is a king, no matter his outward condition. But the man who allows his thoughts to run wild, dictated by fear, doubt, envy, and anger, is a slave, though he sit upon a throne. It is not what happens to you that determines your outcome. It is how you think about what happens to you. One man sees disaster and thinks it's over. Another sees the same storm and thinks, here lies my chance. You must think deliberately. Speak to your mind as a general speaks to his army. Give it commands. Feed it with ideas that uplift, challenge, and sharpen you. Read daily from sources that fuel noble thought. Guard against gossip, complaint, and negativity, for these are the weeds that strangle a fruitful mind. And if you should falter, if you should slip into the old pattern, do not be discouraged. Simply return at once. Replace the thought. Affirm the new one. Say it aloud. See it vividly. Emotionally. repeatedly. For repetition is the fire that burns belief into the subconscious, and belief is the engine that drives destiny. There is no success without mental mastery. There is no peace without inner alignment, and there is no happiness without intentional thought. So take charge. Begin now, not tomorrow. Discipline your thinking as a soldier. Disciplines his body. Shape your mind into an instrument of purpose. Think joy. Think hope. Think greatness. And as surely as the sun follows night, you will become what you continually think about. Make those thoughts worthy of the life you desire. There is a silent killer that creeps into the hearts of men, quietly, steadily, until it robs them of all ambition, robs them of all desire, and poisons the wellspring of their joy. That killer is inaction. It is the great thief of happiness. It is the silent agreement to surrender to despair. And I tell you now with all the fire in my soul, no man can be miserable who is moving forward with purpose. It is impossible. Action is the cure. Movement is the medicine. The man who feels sorrow, who feels stuck, who feels broken, he must not wait for clarity. He must move. He must act. He must put one foot forward, however small the step. For it is not thinking and it is not talking that transforms a life, it is doing. It is the forward thrust of effort that lifts the soul out of its suffering and gives it something to live for. No man was ever healed by sitting idle in his grief. The world makes no room for those who wait for the perfect feeling, the perfect plan, the perfect moment. The healing, the power, the joy, they all live in the motion. They arise like fire from friction. They are awakened when the body and mind work together toward a cause, no matter how small. If you are sad, act. If you are lost, act. If you are angry, act, because motion disrupts emotion. A man cannot wallow in self-pity while building, while lifting, while working toward something meaningful. His spirit is too engaged, his attention too focused. He begins to forget his sorrow not because it has vanished, but because he has risen above it. This is no shallow advice. It is a principle etched into the very structure of life. Nature itself never stops moving. Rivers flow, trees grow, stars burn. All things in nature are in motion. It is stagnation that breeds disease. It is inactivity that invites decay. And so it is with the soul of man. When you feel downcast, take immediate action. Wash your face, stand tall, breathe deeply, speak a word of encouragement to yourself, no matter how hollow it may sound. Walk, run, clean, build, write, serve someone else, begin anything, because action is your signal to the universe that you refuse to be defeated. You must make action your habit. You must engrave it into your identity. Not merely when you feel inspired, but especially when you do not. For inspiration is not the fuel of action, it is the result. Begin first, and the motivation will catch up. Every time you act, you strengthen the bridge between the man you are and the man you are becoming. And do not be fooled by the illusion that the action must be grand. It need not be. Let it be small, but let it be consistent. The dripping of water hollows the stone, not by force, but by persistence. The simple act of rising early, the discipline of writing your goals, the courage to speak kindly when you'd rather complain, all these are victories. They stack, they multiply, they restore your faith in your power. The man who waits to feel better before he acts is like the man who waits for the fire to be warm before he adds the wood. It is backward, it is foolish. Emotion follows motion. The feeling you desire will be found on the other side of doing what you know must be done. So when sorrow whispers, act. When depression tightens its grip, act. When the darkness says stay in bed, rise. Every time you choose movement over paralysis, you remind yourself that you are in control, not your mood, not your pain, you. The truth is this: there is nothing wrong with feeling low, but there is everything wrong with staying there. No man is judged by his feelings alone. He is judged by his response to them. And the man who responds with action, with motion, with commitment to progress, that man shall rise. Again and again he shall rise. So choose today to do what needs to be done, not later. Now, push your body, direct your mind. Take the step, and the next, and then the next. And in that forward movement, you will find your strength. You will find your clarity. And above all, you will find your joy. Because action, my friend, cures sadness like the sun cures the fog. Move and you shall rise. There is no greater tragedy than a man with untapped potential wandering through life without direction, reacting to the world instead of commanding it. The difference between the masses and the men who shape history is not education, not birthright, not luck. It is purpose, not a casual wish, but a definite major purpose, a clearly defined aim that sets the soul on fire and the feet in motion. You were not born to drift. You were not made to simply exist and expire. You were designed to create, to build, to influence, to live with intention. And if you do not choose your direction, life will choose it for you, and it will rarely lead upward. A ship without a compass is at the mercy of every wind, every wave, every storm. So it is with the man who lives without purpose. He is tossed, turned, and ultimately broken. A definite major purpose is more than a goal. It is the inner calling that gives meaning to your waking hours. It is the vision that makes pain bearable, sacrifice noble, and every setback a lesson instead of a loss. Without purpose, difficulty becomes suffering, but with purpose, difficulty becomes fuel. And here lies a vital truth. Happiness is not found in idleness, nor in mere comfort. It is found in progress toward a meaningful goal. The man who labors toward a purpose greater than himself is the man who discovers lasting joy, not the fleeting thrill of pleasure, but the enduring fire of fulfillment. Purpose transforms pain into power and obstacles into opportunity. You must take the time to sit with yourself and ask, not casually, but with burning sincerity, why am I here? What do I seek to accomplish before my days are done? What do I want my life to stand for? Ask. Then write it down. Make it plain. Carve it into your heart until it becomes your identity. For when a man knows his purpose, he becomes unstoppable. The man with a definite major purpose wakes up with energy that needs no alarm. He moves with clarity. He speaks with conviction. He walks into a room not asking, "What do they think of me?" but declaring, "Here is what I have come to give." Purpose eliminates hesitation. It removes confusion. It cuts through doubt like a sharp blade. You will know where you are going, and more importantly, you will know what not to give your time, your energy, your attention. And once you have your purpose, you must link it to emotion. A weak desire cannot move the mountains of resistance that life will surely place in your path. But a burning desire, born of purpose, fueled by faith, that is the force that moves worlds. You must want it so deeply that you refuse to quit, even when the world tells you to. You must want it so strongly that fear no longer has power over you. Now understand, your purpose must serve more than just yourself. The greatest men in history built their lives on purposes that elevated others. When your aim benefits humanity, the universe itself begins to conspire in your favor. Doors open, help arrives, inspiration flows. For there is no greater power than a soul aligned with truth and service. Do not make the mistake of waiting until you feel ready. That day may never come. Do not wait for permission, for applause, or for guarantees. Begin where you are. Take the first step in faith. Clarity comes through action. Your purpose will sharpen as you move. Let the vision lead you. Let your heart guide you. And let no man dissuade you. Commit to your purpose daily. Speak it, write it, visualize it, act on it. When you fall, and you will return to it. When you're tired, let it be your strength. When you're doubted, let it be your courage. When you're lost, let it be your compass. For with purpose, you are never truly lost. You are simply learning the terrain. In the end, it is not what you owned or who praised you that will matter. It is what you built, what you pursued, and who you became in the pursuit. So choose now with all your soul to stop living accidentally and to start living deliberately. Claim your purpose. Serve your purpose. And let that purpose light the fire of happiness that no storm can extinguish. The man who desires happiness but does not train his mind is like a farmer who wants a harvest but refuses to till the soil. He wishes for wealth while discarding the key. He prays for peace while neglecting the very instrument that governs peace, his thoughts. Your mind, above all else, must be brought under conscious direction if you are to live a life of joy, power, and purpose. For the mind untrained is your greatest enemy, but the mind disciplined is the master key to all achievement. Let there be no misunderstanding. Your mind is your greatest asset. Not your money, not your education, not your connections. It is the quality of your thinking that determines the quality of your life. Every thought is a cause, every emotion a consequence. And until you take daily responsibility for your thoughts, you will remain a slave to every passing mood, every outer circumstance, every voice but your own. Thoughts are not harmless. They are seeds, and the moment they are planted, they begin to grow. Whether they grow into weeds or into fruit-bearing trees is entirely up to the gardener. You, the man who allows fear, anger, envy, or self-pity to take root in his mind, has already forfeited his happiness. He has handed over the keys of his kingdom to invisible enemies. But the man who plants courage, gratitude, faith, and love, he will reap a harvest that no drought can destroy. You must take control at once. Begin each morning by commanding your thoughts. Set the tone for the day before the day sets it for you. Do not touch your phone before you touch your vision. Do not absorb the world's confusion before you declare your own clarity. Write your affirmations, seek your desires. Visualize your goals. Feed your spirit before the world feeds you its noise. And understand this, the training of the mind is not a one-time act. It is a daily discipline. Just as the muscles of the body weaken through neglect, the power of the mind fades if not exercised. You would not expect strength without effort. Why then expect peace without mental conditioning? Guard your mind fiercely. Not all information deserves access to your inner world. Be ruthless with what you allow in. Social media, news, gossip, these are not merely distractions, they are contaminant. And like poison in the bloodstream, they will, over time, weaken your ability to think with power, to feel with joy, and to act with conviction. Instead, fill your mind with the voices of greatness. Read the words of those who walked before you and left maps of wisdom. Listen to teachings that elevate, that challenge, that remind you of who you truly are. Associate with those who speak life, not death, possibility, not limitation. Every time you resist a negative thought and replace it with a positive one, you strengthen your mental muscles. Every time you choose gratitude over complaint, confidence over doubt, clarity over confusion, you are shaping your mind into an instrument of success. This is not theory, it is practice. And it must be repeated daily until it becomes second nature. Now listen carefully, for this is vital. Your mind will try to resist this training. It will whisper lies. It will pull you back toward comfort, toward old patterns, toward mediocrity. That is its nature, until you recondition it. The subconscious does not care whether it serves your greatness or your destruction. It only follows the pattern you imprint upon it. Your job is to engrave a new pattern with boldness and repetition. Do not be discouraged when you fall short. Even the strongest minds have their battles. But the victor is not the man who never falters. It is the man who rises again and again, who refuses to let a single bad day become a bad week, a bad year, a bad life. Your happiness depends on your vigilance. Every smile, every moment of peace, every surge of inspiration, it all originates in your thoughts. And your thoughts can be trained. They can be mastered. They can be aligned with truth, with purpose, and with joy. But only if you take that responsibility into your own hands. So begin today. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Today. Speak life. Think truth. Move with intention. Discipline your mind, and happiness will no longer be a fleeting visitor. It will become your faithful companion, your reward, your rightful state of being.